Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the SMA Victor Podcast. I am your host, Victor, aka Victor the Inspiration. And within today's episode, I have a fascinating topic to go over with you guys, which is how Zolgensma replaces the missing gene in simple terms. Let's utilize our co-host ChatGPT in today's episode. Hi ChatGPT, I want you to be my co-host within today's episode. Within today's episode, we are going to be discussing the fascinating topic, how Zolgensma replaces the missing gene in SMA in simple terms. ChatGPT, let's get right into today's episode. It says Zolgensma replaces the missing or non-working SMN1 gene with a new functional copy using a harmless virus as a delivery vehicle. This allows the body to produce the necessary SMN protein, which helps motor neuron cells work correctly and improves muscle and nerve function. The treatment is a one-time intravenous infusion that delivers the healthy gene into the motor neuron cells. ChatGPT, can you please explain what all of this means?
Absolutely. So basically, Zolgensma is a gene therapy that addresses the root cause of SMA by replacing the faulty or missing gene that's responsible for producing a protein that helps motor neurons function properly. They use a harmless virus to deliver this healthy gene into the body. And once it's inside, the body can start making that protein again. This helps the motor neurons work better, which in turn improves muscle strength and function. It's a one-time infusion, so it's pretty neat.
So essentially, Zolgensma is helping to wake up the dormant motor neurons.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's kind of like giving the motor neurons the tools they need to function properly again, which can make a big difference in muscle strength and overall quality of life. Pretty amazing stuff.
So it says how the process works. Gene delivery vehicle. Zolgensma packages a new working copy of the human SMN gene inside a harmless virus called an adeno-associated virus 9, parentheses, AAV9, parentheses. The viral DNA is removed so it cannot cause illness, and the new gene is inserted instead. ChatGPT, can you explain what this means in simple terminology for myself and the audience listening?
Absolutely. So think of it like this. Zolgensma uses a tiny harmless virus as a delivery tract. This virus is called AAV9, and we've taken out all the parts that can make you sick, so it's totally safe. Instead of the virus's own genetic material, we put in the healthy gene that the body needs. This tract then carries the new gene right into the cells that need it, and that helps the cells function properly. It's a neat little genetic delivery system.
That is very, very fascinating. The thing I love about creating this podcast and going over these episodes with you guys is this is literally raw. I am here learning with you guys as we go. The only thing I come up with is the idea or the topic essentially, and then we utilize Google and ChatGPT as our co-host within today's episode. But I did not know that it is essentially a harmless virus. I didn't know that. The most I knew about Zolgensma is how it is administered. This is very, very fascinating to me. So let's move on to the next one. It says targeting motor neurons. The AAV9 vector is designed to travel through the bloodstream and cross the blood-brain barrier to reach the motor neuron cells in the spinal cord and brain stem. ChatGPT, so how does the AAV9 vector, how does it target the motor neurons?
Great question. So the AAV9 vector is special because it has a natural ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective barrier that usually keeps a lot of substances out of the brain and spinal cord. Once it gets into the bloodstream, it finds its way to the motor neuron cells in the spinal cord and brainstem. It does this because those cells have specific receptors that the vector can attach to, allowing it to deliver the new gene right where it's needed. Pretty clever little mechanism.
So is this so because you can only receive Zolgensma, up to my knowledge and up to public records, that it is primarily administered before the age of 2 years old, which is infancy. So is this the reason as to why Zolgensma is primarily treated for infancy patients?
Yes, exactly. The main reason is that the earlier the treatment is given, the more effective it tends to be. Infants have fewer damaged motor neurons, so introducing the healthy gene at that stage helps prevent a lot of the muscle degeneration that can happen as they grow. Plus, the vector works best when the nervous system is still developing, which is why it's primarily used in infants. It's all about getting the best possible outcome.
I didn't know that. That is very, very fascinating and intriguing to know. It says replacing the gene. Once inside the motor neuron cells, the vector releases the healthy SMN gene into the cell nucleus. This new gene replaces the function of the defective SMN1 gene without becoming part of the patient's own DNA. So, ChatGPT, how does that happen where it becomes part of it without replacing the patient's own DNA?
That's a great point. So the way it works is that the new gene delivered by the vector doesn't actually integrate into the patient's own DNA. Instead, it stays in the cell's nucleus as a separate piece of genetic material. It basically acts as a template to produce the missing protein without permanently altering the patient's own genetic code. This means that the therapy is temporary in that sense, but it can have a long-lasting effect because the cells keep producing the protein as long as they remain healthy. It's a pretty clever workaround.
Wow, that is very clever. The next topic, it says continuous protein production. The new gene is designed to activate and continuously produce the SMN protein, which is vital for motor neuron survival and function. So ChatGPT, how is the new gene designed to activate and continuously produce the SMN protein?
So the new gene is basically crafted with a strong promoter, which is a genetic element that helps turn on the gene and keep it active for a long time. This means that once the gene is inside the motor neurons, it keeps producing the SMN protein consistently. The cells don't need any extra signals. It just keep making the protein as long as they stay alive. This continuous production is what really helps maintain the health of those motor neurons over time.
So essentially, is it wakes up those dormanted motor neurons and it keeps those awake for a long periods of time.
That's a really nice way to put it. It definitely helps keep those motor neurons functioning properly for a long time by ensuring that they have the essential protein they need. So in a sense, it does give them a kind of boost to stay active and healthy for as long as possible. Pretty incredible technology.
Yeah, that is very, very phenomenal. I can never say that word right, and I love to use it. Restoring function. This continuous production of SMN protein allows motor neurons to work properly, which can stop the progression of the disease and lead to improvements in muscle movement and function. Wow. ChatGPT, can you please explain everything we talked about within today's episode in simple terminology?
Absolutely. So to sum it all up, Zolgensma is a gene therapy that helps treat SMA by giving the body a healthy copy of a gene it's missing. It uses a harmless virus to deliver this gene directly to the motor neurons. And once inside, the gene keeps making the protein that those neurons need to function well. This continuous production helps stop the disease from progressing and can even improve muscle strength and movement. It's like giving those neurons a much needed boost and keeping them healthy for the long run. Pretty amazing stuff.
Okay, so one last question. It's something that came to mind at the moment. Okay, now what makes where's the word at? It is what makes the AAV9 harmless virus so harmless?
That's a great question. The AAV9 virus is considered harmless because it doesn't cause disease in humans. It's been modified so that its own genetic material, which could cause illness, is removed. It also doesn't integrate into the host's DNA, which reduces any risk of unintended genetic changes. Plus, it's been used safely in a lot of gene therapies before, so we know it's very well tolerated. It's essentially a very efficient and safe delivery vehicle for the gene.
This is a very fascinating episode. This was very, very informative. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please like the video. Please comment down below what you personally learned from today's episode and subscribe if you guys are new. We are so close to reaching 100 subscribers just on this YouTube channel, the SMA Victor. It would be a really cool milestone to reach just within this holiday season. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And remember, grow through what you go through. Much love.